The universe holds secrets that sleep in the darkness between stars. Some secrets whisper, others roar. And then there are those that arrive in silence, massive and inevitable. Like death itself, wearing armor made of starlight and steel. Captain Gerin Talvos had piloted through nebulas that could tear ships apart, navigated asteroid fields that moved like predators, and faced pirates who would sell their own clutchmates for fuel. But nothing in his 30 cycles of service with the Galactic Federation Patrol had prepared him for what materialized on his sensors that day. The patrol vessel Crimson Watcher hung suspended in the void near the Outer Reach territories, those forgotten spaces where civilization became a distant memory and the law was whatever you could enforce with your weapons. Gerin, a tall Crothery with scales that shimmered copper in the ship's dim lighting, stood at the command platform reviewing routine scans. His crew of 12 worked quietly at their stations. They were good people, drawn from 5 different worlds, united by their service to the Federation. Everything changed when junior sensor technician Pelos, a young Fratani with 4 eyes and nervous energy, called out from his station. His voice cracked the peaceful silence like glass breaking. "Captain, something just dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Grid Section 9. Gerin turned his elongated head toward the main display. "Show me." The screen flickered and adjusted. At first, Gerin thought the sensors had malfunctioned. The object appearing on their scanners was too large to be a ship. It had to be an asteroid, maybe a small moon that had somehow achieved impossible velocity. But asteroids did not have symmetrical geometry. They did not radiate power signatures that made every alarm on the bridge start, screaming warnings. Pelos worked frantically at his console, his 4 eyes blinking in different patterns as he processed information. "Sir, the computer is having trouble measuring it. Best estimate, 42 kilometers from bow to stern. Give or take 3 kilometers. The bridge went silent. Every crew member stopped what they were doing and stared at the display. 42 kilometers. The largest warship in the known galaxy belonged to the mighty Thorvaxian Empire, and it measured just under 9 kilometers. This thing was nearly 5 times that size. Run full spectrum analysis, Gerin ordered, fighting to keep his voice steady. Tactical, bring weapons online, but do not lock on. Communications, prepare a first contact protocol message. As his crew scrambled to follow orders, Gerin studied the image growing clearer on their screens. The ship, if you could call it that, looked like someone had taken a city and taught it to fly. The hull was dark, almost black, covered in patterns that might have been armor plating or artistic design. Towers rose from the surface like skyscrapers. Massive gun emplacements, bigger than most orbital defense platforms, studded the sides in rows. Thousands of windows glowed with warm light, suggesting a vessel that was not just alive but thriving. Dreka, his weapons officer, a scarred veteran from the war-torn Mulvari systems, spoke quietly from her station. "Captain, I count at least 400 visible weapons batteries, and those are just what we can see from this angle. Each one of those batteries could probably destroy our ship with a single shot." Gerin nodded slowly. His mind raced through possibilities. An ancient weapon reactivated by some fool explorer. A secret project by one of the major powers. An invasion force from beyond known space. None of the options felt right. Before he could voice his thoughts, the communication system activated without input from his crew. A voice filled the bridge, calm and measured, speaking in perfect galactic standard despite coming from an unknown source. "Attention Federation vessel. This is the human exploration ship Goliath's Hammer. We detected your presence and wish to establish peaceful communication with representatives of galactic civilization. Please respond." The word human rippled through the bridge like a shockwave. Gerin had heard of humans. Everyone had. They were the new species, the fresh arrivals who had stumbled into faster than light technology only a few cycles ago. They came from a small world called Earth in an unremarkable system. The intelligence reports painted them as curious but primitive, enthusiastic but harmless, dangerous only in their ignorance and their tendency to ask too many questions. The intelligence reports had failed to mention ships that could crack planets like eggs. Pellos looked up from his station, his 4 eyes wide with confusion. "Sir, did they say exploration ship?" "An exploration ship." Jaren felt something cold settle in his stomach. If this monster was for exploration, what did their warships look like? He cleared his throat and activated his communication system. "Goliath's Hammer, this is Captain Jaren Talvos of the Federation patrol ship Crimson Watcher. We acknowledge your greeting and welcome peaceful contact." The response came immediately. "Captain Talvos, we are pleased to make your acquaintance. Our mission is to explore this region of space and establish friendly relations with any civilizations we encounter. Would you be willing to meet with our diplomatic team? We can receive you aboard our ship or send representatives to yours. Whatever makes you comfortable." Jaren looked at his crew. Drekka shook her head slightly, a warning. But Pellos leaned forward eagerly. First contact was rare, precious. It could define careers, change histories. And besides, if the humans wanted to harm them, that massive ship could have already turned the Crimson Watcher into glowing debris. "We would be honored to visit your ship," Jaren replied. "Excellent. Transmitting docking coordinates now. We will have an escort meet your shuttle and guide you in. And Captain? Bring whomever you wish. We have plenty of room." The communication ended. Coordinates appeared on their navigation system. Drekka stood and walked to Jaren's platform. Her voice dropped low. "Sir, this could be a trap. That ship could hold 1,000,000 soldiers." Jaren considered her words carefully. "It could, but look at it, Drekka. Really look at it. If they wanted us dead, we would already be atoms scattered across space. This is something else. Something bigger than us. The shuttle ride to the human ship felt like traveling from a pebble toward a mountain. As they drew closer, the true scale became suffocating. The Crimson Watcher could have fit inside one of the Goliath's Hammer's engine ports. The hull stretched in every direction, a landscape of metal and purpose. Jaren sat in the pilot's seat with Drekka beside him. Behind them, he had brought Pellos and their medical officer, a kind-souled Verani named Thissa, who spoke 8 languages and had saved half the crew from various injuries over the cycles. They approached what the humans called Bay 12, which the computer informed them was only one of 90 similar bays on this side of the ship alone. The bay doors opened like the mouth of some mechanical god. Inside was a space larger than some space stations Jaren had visited. Their shuttle looked like an insect flying into a cathedral. They landed on a designated platform marked with glowing symbols. As the shuttle powered down, Jaren saw their welcoming committee. Humans, 5 of them standing in a neat line. They looked surprisingly ordinary. 2 legs, 2 arms, 1 head. Similar height to Crothery, actually. They wore simple uniforms without excessive decoration. The center figure stepped forward as the shuttle door opened. She was older, with hair the color of iron and eyes that seemed to measure everything they touched. She smiled. "Captain Talvos, welcome aboard the Goliath's Hammer. I am Commander Rebecca Stone, Executive Officer of this vessel." Behind her, the other humans nodded greeting. One was younger with dark skin and calculating eyes. Another was broad-shouldered with hands that looked like they had built things. A thin woman with bright red hair carried a data pad. The last was a young man who seemed unable to stop smiling. Jaren descended the shuttle ramp with his team behind him. "Commander Stone, thank you for receiving us. This is an impressive ship. Stone's smile widened. You are kind to say so. Please follow me. We have prepared a tour and arranged refreshments. As they walked through the corridors, Gering tried to absorb everything. The passages were wide enough for vehicles to drive through. Every surface was clean, maintained, purposeful. Crew members passed them, humans of all varieties, young and old, different skin colors and body types, all working together with practiced efficiency. They nodded politely at the visitors, but did not stop or stare. This was routine for them. The humans brought them to what Stone called an observation gallery. One wall was entirely transparent, showing the vast bulk of the ship extending in both directions. In the distance, other large ships floated in formation. Each one was smaller than the Goliath's hammer, but still massive by galactic standards. You have a fleet, Sharon observed. Stone nodded. 7 ships in our exploration group. The Goliath's hammer serves as the flagship and primary habitation vessel. The others have specialized functions: industry, research, agriculture, defense. Pellos could not contain himself. How many people live on this ship? Currently about 2.3 million souls. Stone replied as if discussing the weather. Though we can support up to 4 million if needed. Our longest estimated mission duration is 50 years without resupply, so we built accordingly. Thesa, usually quiet, spoke up. 50 years. You plan to be away from your homeworld for 50 years? Stone led them down another corridor. We hope it won't take that long. But humans learned a difficult lesson in our history. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Our planet faced many catastrophes. Ice ages, asteroid strikes, volcanic eruptions that blocked out our sun. The only humans who survived were those who planned ahead, who built supplies and shelters and communities that could last through the young. Darkness. They entered what appeared to be a farming area. Vast rooms stretched away, filled with growing plants under artificial sunlight. The air smelled alive, rich with earth and growth. Hundreds of humans worked among the crops, tending, harvesting, planting. This is Agricultural Section 3, Stone explained. We have 20 sections like this throughout the ship. We grow enough food to feed everyone with surplus for trade. Beyond that, we recycle everything. Water, air, waste. Nothing is lost. The ship is a closed ecosystem. Drekka studied everything with her tactical eye. This is not exploration, Commander. This is colonization. You have built a mobile civilization. Stone met her gaze directly. We built survival. Earth is precious to us, but the universe does not care about precious things. Suns die. Planets are destroyed. Species go extinct. We decided long ago that humanity would not end easily. If Earth burns tomorrow, these ships carry our culture, our knowledge, our hope forward into the future. They visited engineering next, where massive reactors generated enough power to run small countries. The humans explained their technology, fusion systems that could operate for decades, backup systems for the backups, redundancy built into every critical function. In the medical bay, which was larger than most planetary hospitals, Thessa saw equipment that made her whisper in awe. The manufacturing centers could build almost anything given raw materials and time. Gerin saw smaller ships being constructed in internal shipyards. The recreation areas included parks with real trees, theaters, sports facilities, and schools for the children born during the voyage. This was not a ship. This was a world that happened to move between stars. In Commander Stone's office, decorated simply with a few photos of Earth and some handwritten documents behind protective glass, Gerin asked the question burning in his mind. Commander Stone, I must ask directly. Why build something this large? Why bring millions of people into space when smaller, more efficient ships could explore just as well? Stone poured drinks for everyone from a device that seemed to create beverages on demand. She handed out cups filled with warm liquid that smelled pleasant. Captain, my species has died 1,000 times. Every major civilization on Earth has collapsed eventually. Empires fall, knowledge is lost, populations are wiped out by disease or war or environmental disaster. But humanity continues because some of us always prepare for the ending. She sat down and gestured for them to do the same. When we achieved faster than light travel, we faced a choice. Venture out slowly with small ships, hoping the galaxy would be kind, or build vessels that could ensure survival no matter what we found. We chose survival. We chose to make sure that if we met friends among the stars, we could trade and share and grow together. And if we met enemies, we could protect ourselves. The words hung in the air. Pelos broke the silence. Have you met enemies? Not yet, Stone replied. And we pray we never do. But if that day comes, humanity will be ready. The tour continued, but the mood had shifted. Something unspoken had passed between the humans and their guests. Jaren felt it like pressure against his scales. This was not arrogance he was seeing. This was something else. Something that made him think of stories from his childhood about great beasts that slept in deep caves, peaceful until awakened, then unstoppable. Commander Stone led them to what she called the strategic center. The room was circular, with screens covering the walls from floor to ceiling. Star maps displayed in three-dimensional detail, showing the entire region of space for hundreds of light years in every direction. Colored markers indicated different types of information. Green for explored safe systems. Yellow for systems with useful resources. Red for areas containing hazards. But there were also blue markers, many of them, scattered across Federation space. Those are your settlements, Stone explained, noticing Jaren's gaze. We have been observing from a distance for the past 3 months. Not spying exactly, but learning. Understanding trade routes, population centers, political boundaries. We wanted to know the neighborhood before we knocked on the door. 3 months. Pelos whispered. You have been here for 3 months, and no one detected you. Stone smiled gently. Our ships can be very quiet when we want to be. We parked in deep space between systems and sent out small scout vessels. Nothing threatening. Just watching and listening to public broadcasts. Learning languages, studying cultures. Humans believe in doing our homework before taking tests. A young human approached, male, with dark hair and intense eyes. He carried a data pad, which he offered to Stone. Commander, the analysis teams have finished the comprehensive survey. 17 systems in this sector contain asteroid fields rich in heavy metals suitable for industrial applications. 12 systems have rocky planets that could be terraformed within a century using our current technology. 5 systems have existing colony worlds that might be interested in trade agreements. Stone thanked him and turned back to her guests. As you can see, we think in long terms. Not cycles or years, but generations. Everything we do is built on the question, what will humans need 50 years from now? 100 years? 1,000? Dreka, who had been quiet, spoke up. You said you pray you never meet enemies. But you have prepared for war. Every weapon system on this ship, every Marine in your barracks, every tactical simulation your crew runs. These are preparations for battle. Stone did not deny it. Yes, because peace is a beautiful dream and war is an ugly reality. My species has fought itself for its entire history. Over land, over resources, over ideas and beliefs and simple fear. We learned that those who want peace must be capable of winning war. Otherwise, peace is just waiting for someone stronger to take everything from you. She walked to one of the displays, showing the Goliath's hammer from external cameras. See those gun batteries? Each one can level a city. Those missile bays can launch enough ordnance to break continents. The armor plating is thick enough to withstand nuclear detonations. This ship could fight the entire Federation fleet and probably win. She turned to face them directly. And we desperately hope we never have to prove that. Because winning a war means people died. It means homes destroyed, families torn apart, futures that will never happen. Humans have seen enough of that on our own world. We do not want to bring that horror to the stars. Jaren felt something shift inside him. He had been afraid of this ship, afraid of what it represented. But now he understood. These humans were not conquerors. They were survivors, carrying the weight of their own history, determined not to repeat old mistakes, but also determined not to become victims of new ones. Thesa asked a question, her voice soft. "Do you have children on this ship?" "Thousands," Stone replied, her face softening. "Children born on Earth, who have known only this ship as home. Children born during our journey, who have never touched a planet. We have schools where they learn everything from mathematics to art, playgrounds where they can be kids despite living in the void. They are the reason we do all of this, so they can grow up in a universe where humanity has a future." She pulled up images on a nearby screen. Children of different ages, playing, learning, laughing. Human children looked remarkably like the young of many species. Big eyes full of curiosity. Smiles that spoke of joy and innocence. One photo showed a little girl, maybe 6 or 7 cycles old, holding a drawing she had made. It depicted the Goliath's hammer among stars with other ships around it. Crude, but filled with love. "That is my granddaughter," Stone said quietly. "Her name is Hope. Her parents are in engineering. She wants to be a pilot when she grows up. She has never seen Earth. This ship is her whole world." Pelos felt something break inside his chest. These were not monsters or invaders. These were people trying to protect their children, just like everyone else. But they had the power to reshape the galaxy. Stone seemed to sense the emotional shift. She led them to one final location, a large chamber near the ship's center. The room was filled with what looked like monuments. Stones carved with names. Thousands of names. Hundreds of thousands. "These are memorials," Stone explained. "Every person who died to make humanity's space program possible. Test pilots who crashed. Engineers killed in accidents. Colonists who died on Mars and Luna before we figured out how to survive away from Earth. Scientists who gave their lives to unlock the secrets of faster-than-light travel." She walked among the stones, trailing her fingers across the carved names. "We remember them. We carry them with us. Their sacrifice bought our future. We honor that by being worthy of it, by being careful, by being prepared, by being better than the sum of our worst impulses." Jaren approached one of the memorials. The names were grouped by disaster or mission. He saw one dated almost 200 years before. Mars Colony Incident. 300 names. All young. All dead trying to build something new. "Your species has paid greatly for the stars," he said softly. "Every species that reaches space pays the price," Stone replied. "The question is whether you learn from the payment. Whether you honor those who fell by making sure their sacrifice meant something." Dreka stood at attention and offered a military salute, an honor gesture from her people. "I understand you now. You do not build these ships because you want to conquer. You build them because you remember what it cost to nearly die out." Stone returned the salute with her own formal gesture. "Yes, and we will never forget. Even if humanity spreads to 1,000,000 worlds, even if we live in peace for 10,000 years, we will always remember how close we came to ending, how precious this moment is, how carefully we must guard the future." They stood in silence for a moment, united by something beyond words. The understanding that survival was not guaranteed, that civilization was fragile, that the void did not care about hopes or dreams or children's drawings.